Okay,
Yeah, I
so
don't want to keep you late.
calling to order the November 16th meeting of the Berlin Cultural Council at 7:36 p.m. You are being recorded. So the first item on the agenda is the minutes from last meeting. Do we have any discussion on the minutes? Do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
I move we accept the minutes from the last meeting as written.
And I will second that. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are accepted. So next we have the treasurer's report.
Okay, so line item in the warrant, we have our $1,500 for the Berlin funds. And then our MCC funds, the last justification I had was on June 30th, and we had $4,347.83 in the account. $201.18 of that is interest, and $246.65 are available for administrative funds should we need them. The following grants were paid off: Honky Tonk Piano Man, $400, Diane Edgecombe, $500, Pineapple Project, $500, Lotus Flower Lantern was $500, the Music Therapy at the garden, I forget the official name.
Healing
Garden.
Virginia
Yeah,
Thurston
thank
Healing
you.
Garden.
That was $300, J. Mankita, $500, and the Old Methodist Episcopal Church Music Series, aka 19 Carter, $800. That left $400 unpaid, which was the funding that was turned back by the seniors for the grant for Berlin's Got Talent that did not run, and they did not come up with a replacement that was like kind, so that money will go or be available to us for funding. The interest for July through October is not in the calculations because I haven't gotten anything from the accountant since the end of June. So we have available for funding $7,400. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say what the MCC funding was for 2024, and that is $5,500. So when we combine the BCC funds, the MCC funds, and the $400 that was turned back, it makes $7,400 available for funding. I will contact Hanako and ask her how to put that back into the financial report, because once I submit the financial support in October, it's shut down. I can't go back and do something. So
Okay.
I'll make sure that that shows so that when we do the funding night, it's all accounted for. All right.
And I would just add, I think at this moment, to say that if we were to approve every grant that was requested, the amounts requested, I believe, if my calculations are correct, would be $14,565. So we have to knock off half that.
Okay.
Deborah, do you want me to send you, since you can't get in the panel book, I have a cheat sheet where I listed all of them,
Oh,
the amounts.
I did
as well
actually-
as
I did
color
actually do
coding
that.
for who is, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay.
I did do that. I just wanted to be able to read the fine print on some of them as we discussed it.
We've got the panel book up if we need.
Yeah. Okay, so don't know if we need to approve a treasurer report, but do we have a motion to approve the report?
Sure.
And I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approve that report. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is, I put in a little weirdly, I put down as webpage discussion, and the reason for that is we apparently have not had our page on the town site updated in a while, and that's kind of my bad, and the reason why this is important at the moment is that someone sent a paper application, which, so we have no means with which we could approve it if we wanted to, so we'll have to write a letter to let them know that, but my feeling is that it is not one we would have likely to have approved, so it is from the Fine Arts Department Chair at Tohoto, and Deborah, I'm correct, that so it was just for the advertising for a project that is being funded in some other manner.
Yes, they're looking to try to create some different ways of getting word out to the public by creating flyers and all kinds of stuff. And it wasn't real firmly set. I mean, I guess we really don't have to discuss it because we can't accept it. And we did check with Hanako.
And I appreciate you doing that. I was watching the emails go back and forth. I just didn't have anything to add. So
you know how I get sometimes.
No, I appreciate you.
So per the Mass Cultural Council, we can't accept this because our website.
So it's now it's all but electronic.
Yeah.
There are no more.
Yeah.
But the problem is that on our page, on the town website, that hasn't been. I've been focused on updating things on the Mass Cultural Council's site and
Okay.
that and.
It did say on our website that it was electronic only, but then it was very, is redundant the right word, where it was like it said one thing, but then it said something else, so you didn't know where to go with it when I read it. And there was still, you could link to a paper application.
Okay.
So that's where things went wrong. It didn't link you to the
Got it.
MCC site to do the online app.
Yeah, so one reason I put it in for website discussion was just, other than updating that stuff, is there anything else that we feel needs to be done with our page for the
Yeah.
town?
I think we might want to take a look at it at the next, since we've all been spending time reading these applications,
Okay.
maybe, since the application period is over, you want to look at it after we.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it in ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only
That's
reason
fine.
I did
I
was
was just
because of
noticing
that.
too, like one thing I've never taken the time to do is, update anything to say, who's chair, who's clerk, and anything like that. And I just noticed that the page itself versus our page for the My Town, where you put your meeting minutes, and that one of them is out of date for our terms expiring in 2021, but the page itself someone has updated to 2024, so I'm not sure why there's that discrepancy. I'm not able to change it in the other one, and I've kind of, when we had Karen, I didn't want to tell her what she should be doing, but I also didn't want to do it myself and go around her, so I kind of, so that's my bad. I kind of just let that slide as not important enough, and obviously this is a sign that needs
I'll
to.
take the time.
But, so obviously I'll have to write to them to say that we can't fund this because it's a paper application, but I'm wondering whether we consider it appropriate or not to advise them on, like, part of me wants to tell them that, don't worry, we're not, it's not just a paper thing, that we just don't have the money for this anyway, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate to say.
No, I don't think
I
it
would just
is.
let them know that
Okay.
they couldn't, that
They're
we
welcome.
can't accept it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're welcome
Next
to
year.
apply again
Yeah.
next
Okay.
year.
Okay. Yeah, I
Because-
just feel bad and like we goofed. Sorry, you can't. But
Yeah, I think,
Well, hopefully they applied to Boylston too. I mean, Tohoto.
I think they
can
only,
apply to
it
both
says they
towns.
only applied here. I don't know why.
I don't know why they would do that.
I feel like I saw that this was the
Okay.
only application.
Can I see it?
yeah, oh, by
Curious.
all means, this is my first time looking at it myself.
If you want, I can, well, it doesn't matter anyway. I would let him know that applying to Boylston also is probably a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, especially for the
future.
amounts of,
Yeah.
I mean, it could also, I don't know if it would be.
Because Tohoto can apply to both.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it
They're
would
not
be,
stuck with just us or just Boylston.
yeah. But would it be proper to give them a quick idea that we don't have large amounts of funds that, or just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think,
Well, that's
I think it's
the,
reasonable to just say we're both small councils, and given that you have the availability of applying to both in the future, it needs to be electronic, and you should consider applying to all available resources, which would include Boylston as well as Berlin.
Hmm.
Because some years we don't, I mean, some years we could fund it. Some years, like this year. would be-
the way that they keep ballooning up, I'm not sure whether there is a point where we
But I guess
could
I
fu-
wouldn't want to discourage them, because
Yeah.
we have no idea what they might come up with in the future that might be something that would be very compelling to try and fund some. I mean, I don't want to discourage them.
yeah.
yeah, because I'd like, I don't think.
Well, I don't want to
'Cause
discourage
we
them
don't-
from.
The high school, middle school don't
Don't
Yeah.
ever,
apply
I mean,
very
last year was
often.
like the first time in
Yeah,
ages.
I don't want to discourage them from applying, so I would personally kind of want to discourage them from applying for just marketing, like if it were for a program itself,
Right.
that's kind of where I like.
Or maybe just a sentence about reminding him that we fund programming.
Yeah.
But I
And it
asked
needs to be
Hanako,
like-
and she said this fell within the parameters.
Yeah, we could do it, it's
Yeah.
just, I don't
didn't
think we.
it was going to.
We would, I just, that's something where, I don't think, if this were something we could
We'll
do,
give
I don't think I
everything
would
else,
want
yeah.
to give them any money for just that.
Right.
Given
Given
just
everything
how
else.
much else has been asked for. Well, I will try to work up something soon now that we're actually meeting on it, and I can send that around, make sure everyone feels comfortable with
Okay,
the wording on that.
that
But
sounds good.
okay, so that brings us to the grants themselves. So I think the order of the panel book and then where it's the individual grants to be looked at has them in a different order. So I think the order I have them in is probably the one that came from the panel book. Do we have any preference on what order we do them in? Or,
I kind of like going, like, there are some that I'd say we can immediately reject
okay,
for various reasons. I
okay,
kind of like to get them off to the side first.
okay. That works for me. Well, since you brought that up, where would you like to begin with that?
Where would I like to begin with that?
Number one.
There was, yeah, the first one that every year Assabet Valley Master Singers, everything is in Westboro, Southboro, nothing is in Berlin, and I know our focus is that we want to bring as many programs
Yeah,
in that are going to be right here in town. So,
And it's also very limited what is even given
Yes.
to
yes,
residents.
Yes,
here,
yes.
so it-
Yeah,
So-
and they continue to mention senior centers for giving the tickets, which we don't have,
Yeah.
and it irks me that they cannot personalize it enough to realize that fact.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that was one. The second one was,
Do we want to just take a vote
Oh,
on that
okay.
one now?
didn't,
Unless there's any more to discuss on that particular one, I think.
I
Okay.
have a question. Do you guys care for the minutes if I write who motions and who seconds for everything? Do I have to?
I don't know the rules on
Okay,
that.
never mind. I'll suck it up. Okay, go ahead.
It doesn't matter when you can just make it up as you go. It's going to be one. I know that's probably not something good to say on camera, but you know it's going to be one of
It's
the
just
two
gonna be
of
one
us.
so. All right. I make a motion that we decline to fund the Assabet Valley Master Singers this year.
Okay. Should be a motion that we decline or motion to vote, well, whatever. I will second whatever motion it is.
Motion
Is
should
that
be
not a
that,
good motion?
I'm trying, when we fill things out
Oh,
after this, the ones that we deny,
okay.
how is the wording on that when we fill that paperwork out?
I make a motion, we deny the request from the Assabet Valley Master Singers because it is not, it doesn't, I can't pull the word out of my brain right now.
Yeah, when I've filled it in, there's like 3 or 4 choices that it doesn't fit our guidelines, because I
Yes.
think in our guidelines, we state that we
Right.
want it to serve the Berlin population,
Correct.
as many people as possible.
And usually we want a local, we want usually a town sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Okay, well,
Okay, anyway,
I will second the motion, so then I guess who is in favor of rejecting it?
Aye.
Okay, the grant is rejected. Okay,
Okay.
any,
The next one is the Haitian cuisine tour, $1,700 that the venue is universities.
yes, which we don't have
So-
any that local to us.
Right,
wait,
so,
oh, there it is.
Yeah, I thought both the distance and $1,700 is a very large amount of money for a small town cultural council when this is
yeah.
not. So any
Right.
other discussion on that?
Okay, so I move that we deny the application for the Haitian cuisine tour.
I'll second.
Okay,
Which number was that? There it is.
so who is in favor of denying it?
Aye.
It is unanimously denied. Okay, any others on the hit
The
parade?
next one is the Northbridge Brass. Everything is in Northbridge, which is quite a haul from here, again. And they do some in Worcester, but I don't think
What number is that one?
that.
Is that the afternoon of brass?
Oh.
Yes, the
Okay.
afternoon of brass. Where is that? Number 18.
Before we go down to 18, can I bring up 15 then?
Sure, which one is
The
15?
Showbiz Symphonic Band?
Okay.
Yeah, I had that one down too, yeah, but you want.
We did get email to us, hold on, where did I send this to myself? Oh, let me just go to our email. So we got an email from Susan, don't know how, last name is Benua from 19 Brook Lane. Dear friends, I know that you have many requests for funding every year, but I'd like to encourage you to encourage your support for the Neshoba Symphonic Band. As a resident of Berlin and a member of the band, I know that we have a very special group of artists and volunteers who strive to produce concerts that meet the highest standard. This has been a wonderful way for me to be involved in the musical arts for several years, and since we do not charge admission for our concerts, we provide a musical presentation that's available to the entire community. I hope you will consider funding our grant and encourage you to attend one or more of our upcoming concerts. Regards. So I said, I replied that I would pass that along to the committee, or council, which I have done so.
Okay.
Look at where the,
So should we vote on Northbridge Brass and then,
hang on, I just want to review where their concerts are. Oh, I'm sorry.
So they're at Neshoba.
Okay, that's not horrendous.
Yeah. I think that's one where we've sometimes funded them, but not to the full amount.
yeah, we funded them for a few years and twice the money's been turned back. First because it was COVID, and the second one, last year, they never requested the money, and I emailed them twice and never heard from anybody, so the money just went back to funding, so.
So do we want to discuss or do anything with that one at the moment, or do we want to move back to the brass?
We can come back to it.
Okay, so the afternoon of brass. Do we have anything more we want to say?
No, except I will move that we deny application 18, Afternoon of Brass,
Okay.
due to the location and not really being convenient to the population in town to get to any of the performances.
I second that motion. So, all those in favor of rejecting that?
Aye.
Okay, that one is rejected. Okay. Any others that,
I have a concern about one.
Oh.
It's two.
okay,
That two different venues are asking for Meredith Charles at two different rates. So
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't
saw
know
that too.
if we should be, given the volume of requests from the library, I don't know if we should be considering rejecting that one outright and keeping the other one on the table for discussion.
Yeah, I have some concerns about the number of programs at the library.
Yeah.
It's almost our entire budget.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think we do have to be fair to everybody, and,
To me, that seems like an easy picking for
well, the
starting place of figuring out.
only
how to
issue I
fund
would
this.
say with that necessarily is that the one for the library is for children and the one at 19 Carter is for adults, so the populations being served are, I don't think,
But the library
overlapping.
has many
The library
children
has-
requests.
Yeah,
A bunch of them are the summer reading programs.
yeah,
they have like 8 or 9
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
for
a lot.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Anyway, I'm just putting that out there, that given there's
I,
no way we could fund all of the library stuff.
yeah, I also
That
noticed,
seems like an easy one to immediately not have to even talk about.
on a similar note about, I noticed that a couple of grants that were going to be hosted at 19 Carter had different rates for what they were expecting to pay. I think, so hold on, let me see if I can look that up real quick. Yeah, so for Meredith Charles, for her one at 19 Carter, the rental fee is down at 100, but then the,
The request for 19 Carter's 500, the request for the library is 600.
yeah, but no, there was an, so it's two, so Gina Cranford's one, for her budget, she has this 250, no, 300 down as the space rental, so I was a little alarmed by why that would have such a huge
Yeah, that is weird.
discrepancy.
Which one was that?
The Reiki and sound healing, so
Oh,
the
oh.
budget for that is 300 for space rental, 250 for,
But she's doing it at the library.
no.
She's
Oh,
doing
no.
it at 19 Carter, but.
Oh,
but
yeah,
MJ's
okay.
saying that Meredith Charles's rental fee at 19 Carter is much less.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
Which doesn't make sense,
yeah,
that it wouldn't be the same rental fee.
Got it.
yeah. So I think that may come up more in terms of when we actually divvy up the money, but yeah, that was something that jumped out at me.
Well, can I make a request that we look at number 21 and decide?
If it's one that we can just outright reject.
So,
right now.
which one is 21?
That's
It's
the,
Meredith Charles at the library.
Okay. Yeah, so you make a motion on that?
yeah, I'm making a motion that because of the volume of children's programs being requested from the library, that we deny this one outright because there's already another program request in for Meredith Charles. And
Okay,
there are numerous other children's programs
okay,
being with funding requests, and versus the other one for her is an adult program, which we don't have as many
okay,
requests for.
okay. And do you want a second that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, so all those in favor of rejecting that request?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that is unanimously rejected and that, oops. Okay,
Do we need to go back to the Neshoba Symphony, or just save it till when we get to it in the order?
well, I've got a couple that I thought were ones to potentially reject.
Okay.
So I think the live music making history, John Waterman, that did not have a sponsor.
Correct.
So I think given the volume of grants
Just
that's,
throwing it out there.
yeah. So I kind of felt that was not well planned out, and given our limited budget was an easy one to get rid of.
Which number is that one?
24.
Thank you.
So anyone else have any additional thoughts on that one?
No, I did notice there was no venue. That's what I wrote
Okay,
down.
then I move that we reject that particular grant.
All right, I'll second that one.
All those in favor of rejecting that grant?
Aye.
Okay. That is also unanimously rejected.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course you can.
Did the Elijah T. Grasshopper just run last year, or was it the year before?
It was the year before.
Yeah, I think we rejected that last year.
Right.
Yeah, because
And-
it was repeat, and
I
it
just
was,
feel like we keep seeing it, that's why I
It-
just
and
wanted,
it's-
I know it's run before, but I just couldn't remember if it
Yeah.
ran last year or if it was the year before.
and
And-
it's the most expensive.
That is
Yeah.
one that
Program.
I had down for wanting to reject, both because of the expense and also because their estimate of the population served by the grant seems wildly inaccurate. I think, hold on, let me pull that one up. Come on. I mean, estimates are always, off, but estimated number of individuals served by the project, 80. That just does not seem like that would, I think even on a good day, 40 would be the max. So having one that has such a disproportionate view of how much it's going to accomplish seemed to be one that I felt.
There's also some other programs for that age group that are new.
Yeah.
That haven't been run before, like the wildlife balloon twisting. That one
Yeah.
is new, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
they've
don't
had
recall
him,
that one.
they've had him
Oh.
before.
We've had him
They had him,
so
okay.
in 2020, he had a grant for
Oh,
that,
right.
but then because of COVID, he did a magic show instead.
That's right.
Which I actually happened to attend. I think I was walking down the street or something and it was I don't recall, but anyway.
So it's the same guy, but a different
Yeah.
Different.
performance.
Yeah,
Okay.
That didn't, I forgot about that fact, that it was one of the ones during COVID.
Yeah.
But I did remember him,
Yeah, Ed the Wizard.
yeah,
yeah.
I remembered the name, but it looked like it was a different thing to me.
yeah. So do we want to vote on the Elijah T. Grasshopper? Is that?
Okay, I'll move that we deny Elijah.
And I will second that. So all those in favor of rejecting that one? Aye? Okay, that one is universally or unanimously rejected.
I should start putting these in red.
So there's one other one that I had down that I wanted to potentially reject out of the library ones, and that was the makerspace
Yeah.
one. I just felt that the expense for that one was a lot, but so in trying to get down on the library ones, I tried to look at what they had in terms of other sources of funding should we not be able to fund them in full. And most of the library-related ones had something about how they would, pare down what they were doing, or that they would be seeking, support for from the Friends of the Library. And this one, the answer to that particular question on the budget was, we purchase, prepare, and maintain our teaching materials in bulk, so these costs plus teaching artist salaries, travel expenses, and administrative costs are wrapped into the total fee. We respectfully request the full amount. I feel we would not be able to give them the full amount, and they do not seem to have a contingency for that. So I feel that they've kind of backed themselves into a corner, and given how exacting we have to be this year in not having as many ones funded as we might like, that was one that I felt.
I'm pretty sure this would be the third, if we were to fund this, it would be the third time. I know it was last year, and I'm pretty sure he was here the year before. Because I could go get the book to confirm that, because it's in the other room, but
Well, it's definitely one we've we've seen before.
Yeah.
I remember, I mean, actually, I'm probably,
Yeah, I'm content. I'm okay rejecting this one.
okay, so I make a motion that we reject that grant.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor of rejecting that grant? Aye, so that is unanimous, yeah. Incidentally, last year, we did approve it, they asked for 600, we gave 500, and, let's see.
There was one I was waffling about, because it felt like one where if we had extra, it would be nice to be able to give, but I just don't see how we're even gonna have any possibility of extra, and that's number 11, which is the Fitchburg Art Museum.
Yeah, I was thinking that was on my potential. I feel it's something that, you know, we should support in some way if we could, because it does
Right.
encompass artists in the entire area.
Yeah, I do know that, that in past, I think Ann Ribbons on South Street, that she had won a prize or something in one of their things in the past couple of years. So I know that that is something that has served people in Berlin, but
I absolutely agree that it does. My concern is with so many programs directly
Yeah.
in town, that we're not even going to be able to fully fund, most likely.
Mm.
I'm not sure if this year is the year to be funding
yeah.
out of town.
Yeah. Is
That
it
are a smaller number of people if we don't have the money
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
for things that are running right here in town with larger numbers of the
Mhm.
community.
Is it, the thing won't load onto my computer, so, is it a very specific exhibit?
It's for their arts and crafts.
The 80th Regional Exhibition. And I mean, they're not asking for a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I was on the fence with
Yeah.
even, but I'm sort of at the point of, okay, I don't know how to justify something that's going to be such a small part of the population in town versus all these other events that, in theory,
I will.
should be a number.
Well-
I don't know.
I will say at the moment that based on the ones we've rejected, if we were at this moment to approve all the others, that the amount they requested, we've now gone down to 9,790. So
Okay.
we have,
A little more wiggle room.
we
Okay,
have
and-
rejected
and we
about
don't-
$5,000
Okay.
for it at the moment.
And if we look over at Virginia Thurston, who asked for $1,000, and
We've been funding, but we
we've
can't
been funding
fund at
small
that
amounts,
level.
but that'll help drop things down
That's
if we
true.
want to
Okay.
go with them again.
Then I'm comfortable
Um,
leaving it, then we don't need to discuss taking it. I mean, 'cause
Well, I mean,
would
we
like
still
to
might
fund it, but-
want to, but we have cut out a
Okay.
Yeah, we might have a little wiggle room. The same thing we did with the music series last summer. We gave them a decent amount of money,
yeah.
Yeah.
but not the full amount.
Right.
Well, that's also something we're going back to the 19 Carter, the fees for rental, that Gina Cranford one, that might be one that we would want to reduce by that extra 200 and be like, you're,
Yeah,
make sure it
Talk to
gives you a
them and
break
tell them
because,
that, their rental
because-
fees need to be in line with
yeah,
what they're charging other people.
yeah. And that's something that I might want to, between now and our next meeting, I might see if I can talk to Evie and Kate and find out what their standard rental fee is at the moment.
That would be good.
Yeah.
So are there any others that anyone wants to throw under the bus at the moment. Or we want to just,
Do we want to look at ones where I think we would be funding this for the third? I know that in the past when we've had, and it's not because they're not good, because we know that they're good and they've been enjoyed, but keep funding the same people coming back and not taking in new things to see.
Right.
So those people that I see here are Matt York and Diane Edgecombe, Davis Bates, those programs. They're all, I'm pretty sure, and like I said, I can go get the book, but we've seen them 2 or 3 years now in a row.
Yep.
yeah, well, the Matt York, this is definitely the third year, because the first year was all the Highwaymen, and then last year was Johnny Cash, or this year. The previous grant period was Johnny Cash, so now it's Willie Nelson. So this is definitely the third one on that
I'd
one.
be okay rejecting that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we want to think about that and in terms of,
I mean, I guess my concern is I would much rather be able to fund things closer to what they actually need to run, rather than shaving a ton off of a lot of things.
mhm.
You know, like, I would much rather be able to give them $400 for the paint night versus $200 because we have so many things that we have to divide the money up by.
So we're still looking, what would you say we were at?
So right now, if we approved all of the ones that we still have on the table and we approved them to the full amount, it would come out to $9,790. So we are
And
about, $23.90 higher than we have the money for.
which is still a pretty good amount to shave off.
Yeah.
So,
And so this would be the third year, this would be the third time with Matt York.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar program.
okay, so third time for him, and then, do you remember the same with Diane Edgecombe? I know she was here last year, I feel like she was here the year before. I'm just gonna go get the book, just to,
Okay.
so that I'm not saying these things without
well-
backup. It's just across the hall.
Well, we had her last year.
I like that there were some new things.
Yeah.
There's some very interesting looking things.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up? We had the money for all of it.
Yeah, actually, it would be good to get the book because I want to know if Davis Bates's program is the same thing as it's been or if it's different. When I broke it down, it was, the seniors were 1,100 in requests. 19 Carter was 2,050. Link was 680. And then the library was at 5,485.
Yeah.
It was just such a
Yeah.
dramatic.
And with the seniors, given that we weren't able to do
Yeah,
one
no,
of,
I don't
them.
object to the
Yeah.
seniors because they couldn't run their one program last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, so they're-
I'm inclined to try and fund the seniors fully.
Yeah.
I mean, as best as we can, I think we should.
Yeah.
Because they weren't able to do everything that
Yeah.
was budgeted for them last year. So some of this money really is theirs.
Yeah, essentially.
You know.
Okay. Okay, so I'm wrong about Diane Edgecombe. I don't see her in 2022.
Yeah, I don't think we had her 2 years ago. We did have her this past.
Yeah.
Deborah, while you're in there, could you tell us what Davis Bates's program's about?
Last year?
Yeah.
Here's the book.
Yeah, I don't think we had him last year.
No, I think we had him the year before,
Oh.
but I didn't see him there. Yeah, we didn't have Davis
I
Bates.
just feel like his name has come up so often.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
I
the
know.
name is definitely familiar, but I think that might date back a couple years. That
Okay.
might.
Yeah, that might
Oh,
have
maybe we had
been.
difficulty with him requesting his money.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Okay, as long as it's not a multiple repeat
no,
program.
I feel like maybe we talked a lot about him because it was during COVID and we were trying to
Okay.
do all those programs. Okay.
I have spreadsheets of the past 2 years, but I don't have the year before on this computer. I don't know why.
Okay, so did we make a decision about Matt York?
I'm inclined to reject it. Just based on the fact that it's very similar to the programs he's been running.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different performer, but it's,
Yeah.
Same
I
genre,
mean,
the same-
ideally, I'd like him to be able to get through all the highwaymen, but I'm willing to bend to the collective wisdom on this. So, do we
Okay.
have a motion then?
Yeah, I move that we give him a year off.
Okay.
Deny it this year, and hopefully he'll come back. I know he's enjoyed by many.
Yeah. And,
I'll second.
okay, so all those in favor of rejecting that one? Aye. It is unanimously rejected.
And hopefully he applies next year.
Yeah. Okay. So that puts us down to 9,240 were we to fund everything left. Any other specific ones we want to?
1,840 or 900?
No. Right now, if everything else was full amount, I have 9,240.
Oh, okay, I was going backwards as to how much we had left to,
Well, yeah, so that
Okay.
would be 1,640, I think, to be shaved off in one way or another, if my math is correct. Not 16, 18, 1840.
1840.
Yeah. Okay, so well, I guess Diane Edgecombe that got brought up. Did we?
I think we were just leaving, okay, so do we want to look through these library programs and see where they all fall? Because the other responsibility I feel we have is to make sure that all the, as many different kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's see, so we have the Davis Bates Generations of Fun Intergenerational Performance, so I suppose in theory that's,
Family.
yeah. Heather and Beck Copper Bookmark
That was for
Workshop.
teens.
Okay. So we've got Motoko Dworkin, Japanese Folktale and Origami for Families, so probably younger, but little stretch there. Diane Edgecombe, Let's Go Eco Show for Berlin Library Summer Reading. Then, what else does that leave us with?
We have Ed the Wizard.
At the Wizard, that's kids.
We have Davis Bates.
The
Yeah.
fiber spinning and wild food foraging, I think that sounded, it was all ages, but it's obviously more adults and teens.
Is that the Angora wool thing?
Yeah.
where you
Yeah,
Comb the
That's at
bunnies?
the library.
yeah,
But I'm just bringing it up because it's a library, but it's a different age group
Yeah.
than a lot of the others.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, also that one is definitely different than,
Absolutely. No,
And the
absolutely.
pop-up paint night, that's adult too, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that one was
Adult and
adult.
teen.
so I mean, they seem pretty well split between,
Oh, and there was the musical baseball thing. That
Yeah.
was.
That was all ages.
That was more family
Yeah.
Yeah.
oriented.
And that was different than,
Yeah.
than
It's
some
very
of the other
different.
things we've had.
yeah. I think one that probably is the most kind of the same as the summer reading one, Diane Edgecombe, but also that's kind of, you know, the bread and butter kind of library program too.
Right, you know.
So, any ones we want to talk about specifically, or do we just start going down the list?
I'm just doing a little math first.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like to also consider the groupings that we usually do, you know, how much, so there's fairness across the
Yeah.
board, how much
Yeah.
for the seniors, how much for the school. The school one is pretty low this year.
It is.
Yeah.
I had broken them out before we did the, I had told MJ while you were out of the room, Deborah, that the library requests total were 5,485. Seniors were 1,100. 19 Carter associated ones were 2,050. Link was 680.
Yeah, there's someone
And there were
new,
others that didn't fall within
Yeah,
those, but,
with other
but
categories.
those were,
person who's putting together the link one, this was her first year doing that, so she had some communication with me trying to figure out what she was doing. So I think I probably indicated about what our
I was
But-
pleasantly surprised
yeah,
to see it was something that was probably doable.
yeah. I forget exactly what I said, but I think I tried to
But that's in line with what
Yeah.
we would be able to
Yeah.
comfortably give them.
yeah. I think I may have mentioned one of the years there was one where because of COVID they did like 2 performances or something and it
Yes.
ballooned up, and I think I may have indicated that, you know, we weren't able to.
It was like, because it was close to 2,000, it was
Yeah, it
like
was a lot.
14,000 or so, or 1,400 or something.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have any others that I would outright cut.
Okay.
I mean, I have a bunch that I would cut the amounts.
Yeah.
But not outright cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think what we ended up doing last year was, in order to fund everybody that we felt we wanted to keep, we said, okay, no matter what it was, we were giving 500, I think that's kind of how we did it.
Yeah.
500 to everybody, and then they'd have to deal with the
Yeah.
rest.
Well, I mean, the library wants it that they have, I don't know what the budget of the Friends of the Library is, but we're, they're on the hook to support what we can, so, that's, something they can play around with.
And I think it's reasonable for us to try and group it based on
Yeah.
population and
Yeah.
Yeah.
served and.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they're definitely ones we're gonna have to give less to when we have our subsequent meeting.
Yeah, once we actually, so we've gotten this down.
It would be good for our own information to know what if 19 Carter's really charging people different rates for
Yeah.
rentals. Or if there's just maybe communication
Yeah.
issues on their end
Oh,
with
well, I
these
mean,
different folks.
Also, I think that's probably in part a case where there's a rate, but if they can't get that rate, I don't think they're being like, sorry, this was 100, you can do 75, go. I'm
Right.
sure they're,
Yeah, but
but,
you were
yeah.
right, that was
yeah.
a very big difference.
Yeah.
In the rental
Yeah,
rate.
that would only make sense to me if that were a case where it was something where they were renting upstairs and downstairs versus, one or the other, which
Right.
does not seem like that would likely be the case on
No.
that one. And
Wouldn't make sense to.
Would it be, the one we're talking about involves sound, right?
Yeah.
She's
Sound and-
got, I know what she had. I know, Gina.
yeah,
She's got singing bowls and crystals.
Okay,
So
so it wouldn't
it's-
involve any sound systems or
No.
anything that would
Yeah.
jack up the rental fee? That's where I was going with this.
No, because her whole point is the sound that comes off of them
Yeah.
themselves. It's not.
and she had also been one to
Magnified,
kind of
yeah.
indicate that, that the program would still run even if she had to cut her own fee, but it seems like where more needs to cut is what she's giving 19 Carter, like,
Right, and it seems like it's not quite fair for 19 Carter to be
yeah,
reaping the benefits of
Yeah.
cultural council money, but charging people different
Yeah.
rental rates for the same space.
yeah,
That's
yeah. Well,
a
I'll
little
dig,
unfair.
I'll dig into that before our next meeting, because, yeah, that's something where anyone who's, I think we want to have that be uniform.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if she really
There
wants
may
to.
be a reason, but,
Yeah.
but it'd be nice to know if there actually is a reason, or if they're just
Yeah,
charging
Yeah,
different
maybe
amounts.
maybe it was a
Because it's
typo.
impacting people's actual grants.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we just want to start going through these
Sure.
from the top? So, I guess the top one, the Davis Bates one.
Oh, is that different? It's in there in different order than what we have, what they printed out for us? Like
Davis
when you
Bates is
printed it
number
out,
2.
it's... Okay, Davis, yeah, all right, so we crossed that out. Okay, gotcha, sorry.
So we need to decide if we're approving or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Well, second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is approved unanimously. So the copper bookmark workshop. Anything else more to be said on that?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That is approved unanimously. Painting with Patty, Part 2, Berlin Seniors, $500. And unless there's any further discussion, I will motion that we approve that.
Okay, I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. The senior watch party. Yeah, ran into, I didn't run into, yeah, I saw her a few weeks ago, a couple weeks, some point at the store, and she was telling me about that they could like rent out theater at the mall for.
Oh, yeah, like Regal Cinemas.
Yeah, so that, like, literally they're like, renting out.
It's fun.
Yeah, so it sounded like a cool thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
I have to
that's good.
hire a bus and
yeah,
take people over.
Yeah.
When seeing the van.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that is unanimous. And then meet the Honky Tonk Piano Man.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I should stop raising my hand, it's pointless. Okay. The Adult Improv Workshop. So, I will motion that we approve that.
Well, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Okay, the Reiki infused sound bath. I will motion that we approve that.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The Japanese folktale and origami for families.
I'll make that motion.
Well, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The Let's Go Ego Show for Berlin Library Summer Reading.
I move we approve it.
I will second that.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The Fitchburg, the 88th Regional Exhibition for Arts and Crafts. I will motion that we approve that.
Okay, I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The Stories from the Neighbors for Link.
I'll make the motion.
I will second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the Neshobo Symphonic Band. I will move that we approve that.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Who knows? We might get that money back.
We have twice now.
Okay, the musical baseball show. I motion we approve that.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The 19 Carter Outdoor Concert Series.
I make a motion we approve that.
I will second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the Angora wool fiber spinning and wild food foraging programs at the Berlin Public
Oh, it
Library.
says programs, doing more than one night? Food foraging programs?
I'll approve it. Make the
I'm
motion.
just a question.
I will second that, but let me
Look it up
double.
for you. Oh,
I will- Programs, yes. The S is not a typo. There is an S. It's programs plural. So maybe I should check whether.
what number is it?
It's number 19.
Okay.
I just noticed it said programs, so
Yep,
I was.
Yeah, I-
I'm coming, I'm in the panel book.
Yeah, hold on. I just realized it's not a typo that I wrote down the S, but it's a typo that she wrote down the S. It's very good. I see programs. Yeah, the Berlin Public Library is hosting these programs as part of the summer reading programming service, blah, blah, blah. Apply for this grant to cover the cost of these two programs for the summer reading program.
Okay, so she's coming twice.
Okay,
A good bang for her buck there.
yeah. So I motioned, oh, we already did that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Ed the Wizard Wildlife Balloon Twisting Workshop. I move we approve that.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Did I get an?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, okay.
We spoke at the same time. so-
Okay. Very, very important for the record keeping. Okay, the pop-up art school acrylic paint night.
I move we approve that.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the harmonious healing, empowering resilience through music therapy. I motion we approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
Okay, so that covers all of it. So that pretty much just leaves what we won't set it in stone, but we can think about when we want to schedule the follow-up meeting.
Yeah, so now this has to go into,
Oh, yeah, that,
has to be entered, and an email is sent.
yeah,
That it was rejected,
yeah,
and then there has to be the 2 weeks.
yeah.
Something else in there, the 2 weeks, and then after that, we don't have to follow up with a letter to the rejections, do we?
I don't think so. I think the
It's just
system,
The ones that we
yeah,
grant the money to.
yeah, yeah. No more rejection letters, for better or for worse.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, I think we would want to, if we can, meet in December and try to nail it out before the end of the year. Anyone going away unavailable?
I'm around.
I'm around.
And I'm around. So, I did, when Chris emailed me last night, I sent a reply asking whether Thursdays were a problem or whether it's just, this week, so I haven't heard back on that. And it's always seemed from Sandra in theory that Thursdays are good, it's just in practice.
Mhm.
So I will send an email to, see if we can get any response on that, but
The
do we?
week of the 14th.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
December 14th.
Yeah, as a tentative
Okay.
date.
7:30, the same time.
Yeah, I think that works out well. That
Okay.
gives me enough time to get out of work. And do we want to aim to do that in person again?
Sure.
I think that
I'm
probably
good with that. Yep.
make things simpler. So, yeah,
So do you want to handle the rejections, MJ?
yeah, I
Okay.
can do that.
All right, and in the meantime, I'll contact Hanukkah. I'll CC you wanted to
Yeah.
ask her how to get into that financial report
Yeah.
again and put that money back.
Yeah, and I will draft a response to our paper application. And so, it's really,
So I think we're just asking for,
yeah,
I think, of course, as always, they want level funding.
yeah. Well, the thing is that even when it's like you can do 2.5%, like I don't see any point of trying to get more money unless it's like 500 more. Like I don't think, getting 100 more just doesn't seem to have much point. Like either we can move up or we can't move up. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't think we're likely to.
And we do.
In the lifetimes of our service on the committee, I do not think we are going to see more money out of the town.
No, and where we have the funding from the state, it's,
Yeah.
we have a decent amount of money to work with.
Since you have the book, do we have what one of these is from previous year, just so
Or do we have a new piece of?
No,
paper
no, I mean,
reimbursements?
just like, how we've written this down before. And,
Yeah, I don't have that, so I never did that part.
no.
The funding request, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this is how we're, anyways, it's pretty.
Okay, so
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I move we adjourn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's got a motion?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, and that's non-debatable. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting is adjourned at 8:46 PM.